If you're someone who loves to make videos but don't know how to do it, especially the editing part, then I guess this video is for you. I know I'm kind of a person who is really lazy when it comes to creating content. I'm not someone who creates content on much good frequency, but if I don't do it, if I stop doing it, life for me would be worthless. I mean, kya kare, kya nahi kare, I don't have any idea. Like my last video was the 0 hour short documentary that I shot and uploaded 4 months ago, and after that, few weeks ago, I've also uploaded a vlog which was my monsoon. If you haven't seen it, just go and see it because that's the best vlog so far, I would say. I will link that video in the description or in the I button somewhere. And project like these takes time, and now that I have also started working 9 to 5, it has even got harder to do that. Obviously, I can't stop doing it. So what I've decided is until I remanage all those things that COVID has messed up, until then I'll just make these bite-sized videos which will be helpful for you guys too. I mean, I'll try and make it as informative as possible. So when I was thinking to make this segment, this bite-sized videos and all this, so I was thinking what kind of videos I can do. So I analyzed my channel and I saw all the comments and DMs that you guys have sent me. It's either about appreciating the travel vlogs and questions about travel, and appreciating my editing skills, and also questions about editing, like what software do I use, what software you guys can use to learn editing, and how to learn editing, and all these questions. So it's just basically I'm gonna sit here and talk about editing and give you a few tips that you can apply in your life and start your journey in the editing. So without any further budbud and all the stuff, I've been talking a lot. Let's start this segment and we'll call it we have to call this, obviously, if I'm starting a new segment on all this stuff. So if I'm giving you tips, then we'll call it. Okay, so first things first, कौन सा software use करें? Which software to use for editing, or which software do I use for my edits and all those stuff? I use Premiere Pro, which is amazing software. You can do a lot with it. It is also professional and industry standard software. But if you're someone like when you open the software for the first time and you're like, oh shit, ये सब क्या है? What are all these tools? The interface looks very scary to you. So if not Premiere, because it scares the shit out of you with all the interface and all the tools that it has, I would recommend you guys to have some chota mota softwares in the market that are easy to use and very friendly and very minimal. Even if you have a less configuration computer, you can still install that software. It's really small size and it's really good tool to use to start your editing journey as a beginner. So these softwares are VSDC and OpenShot, and I personally think that both of the softwares are pretty amazing. Like let's say if you are a beginner, आपने कभी editing start ही नहीं की है, you have no idea कैसे shots cut करते हैं, कैसे music cut करते हैं, you don't have any idea about the layers. I'm talking about very basic stuff. You have no idea about that. So I think these two softwares, which is VSDC and OpenShot, I think both of these softwares are really good as an introduction to editing. If you're really new to this, then these two options are really good for you. But if you're someone who is like, nahi yaar, ye sab chota mota software, don't tell me about these Prasanna, tell me about professional software. So I would recommend you guys Premiere Pro, because that's the only software I've been using for a while now, and that's the only software I know, frankly. So that's the first step, which software to use. If you want to start with a beginner level softwares, VSDC and OpenShot is for you. And if you want to take it step ahead, you want to edit your videos in professional software, then Premiere Pro is the one, in my opinion. Now that you know what softwares to use to edit your videos and vlogs or whatever, let's talk about how to use them. Now obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and teach you all the Premiere Pro basics, because one, it's really difficult to collect all the information and put it in one single video, and second, वो सब में घुसना भी नहीं है मेरे को, because there are already lot of good channels and people who are making tutorial videos about how to use Premiere Pro and all those stuff. You can always watch their channels and learn how to use the software itself. Now I would recommend you the channels, because those are the channels that I started watching back then when I started editing as a beginner. So these channels are Film Riot, obviously on my first preference. Then you can also watch Shutterstock tutorials, Adobe Video Motion, the Online Learning Space, and the Premiere Basics. These are the channels that I think you should watch to start your editing journey, especially by having Premiere Pro as your base software. Okay, so for the third tip, let's assume that you have already decided which software to use, you know how to use it, and also just assume that you have already edited few videos in it. So you know all the basics of the editing. So my next tip, the third tip, would be to get your focus on sound editing, which is really important when it comes to editing. Because this is very technical stuff, let's jump into the software in Premiere Pro so I can show you what I want to say instead of just telling you guys and confusing you, and even I'm getting confused what is happening, I don't know. Okay, so now that we are into Premiere Pro, this is the track that I have downloaded from artlist.io, which is a music subscription website. If you are wondering from where to get your musics for your videos, there are a lot of options on YouTube itself. There are a lot of artists who provide royalty-free musics, and in return you just have to give the credit to the artist in the description of your video. Maybe in future, if you want to upgrade, you want really good tracks, variety of tracks and really good quality tracks, hop on some of the websites like Envato and artlist.io, Epidemic Sound. There are a lot of options over there. You see what fits to your budget and just get the subscription. The first thing about knowing about any music tracks, that every track has a loop. So for example, this is just the intro. From here it starts. Let's mark the loops with the marker. So let's say we start over here. This is the first beat. This is the second. Now the loop continues, it's just that it has added more instruments in it. The melody, the music is just the same. There's just new instruments in that. Again, new loop but added with new instruments. Now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops over here, and I want to shorten my music, so I would just get rid of one of the loops. Let's say this is the first loop, so I'll get rid of the this is the entry point of the loop. I'll make a cut over here and I'll make cut at the third loop's beginning. So now if I delete the second loop and stitch the first and the third directly, the music wouldn't feel like, "Arey, yahan pe cut tha bhi." It just feels so natural. See, it just went so natural. It just flow very natural. So you just have to understand how the loops work and how you can cut them, how you can match the first and second. Once you know all these things, you can cut the audio very precisely. Now the second thing that I want to say is that some of the beginner editors and even some of the intermediate editors also do these mistakes, is that let's say this track is around 1 minute 35 seconds, and when you edit your video, when you put all your videos and edit them one after the other, it's around 1 minute. And now that you have 30-second extra, what most of the editors does is, where the video ends, they just add cut over there and they will just fade the music out like this. This is how the edit ends. This is how they end their music, which literally feels like it is edited. The best editing is something that nobody notices. So the proper way to do this is identify the loops. This is the entry point of loop over here. Let's add a cut over there, and there's starting point over here in the very end loop of the video. And now when I delete all the loops in between and join these loops, you didn't even notice the cut. And that's how the actual music ends, and that's how it should always end. And once you know how to do that, you will be one step closer to being a professional editor than a beginner editor. Okay, so my next tip is also related to the sound. Now that you know how to cut the music and how to end the music properly, you also need to know how to add life to your scene, to your edit, like having foley sounds and sound effects. Because having these sounds in your edit, it makes it feel more alive. The audience don't just feel like it's watching the video, it feels like they are in the scene or they are in the video itself. So Foley sound is a sound of an action that is happening in the scene. Let's say your video has a scene where someone is walking, so you need to have the sound of the footsteps. If you're on a waterfall, you need to hear the waterfall. If the scene is that you're on a mountain, you need to hear the wind sound. If you're on the ocean, you need to hear the wave sound or the seagulls creeping in the background. And adding all these sounds with sound effects like swooshes or the hits or the reverbs, all these sounds create drama in your scenes, which enhances your scene or your edit on next level. To show you an example, let's get into the Premiere Pro so I can show you an example of sound design that I did for my latest vlog that I uploaded, the monsoon vlog. That way you can understand more clearly what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is the timeline of my vlog. Let's just watch the scene first with the music and the sound effects. After that, we'll just watch it with single tracks, one with the music and one only with the sound effect, to see the difference and know the importance of sound in your edit. If you really want something so bad, you gotta do all the things that you can possibly do constantly. I don't know if you have noticed anything, but let's just make it so obvious. I'll just mute my voiceover and my music and let's just hear it with the sound effect. You see, you feel like you are in that spot. You are standing in front of the waterfall or somewhere surrounded with waterfall because of that sound. If you see this track just with the music, see, it feels good, but it does not makes you feel anything. It's just seeing and this nice visuals, but the emotion is not there. That's my main motive whenever I make any vlog or make any video. I don't just want to entertain you guys. I want to create an emotion while you're watching my videos. Okay, so the next step is very basic one, but it's really important, is that create a structure first and then go into improvising the scenes. So let's say you want to make a vlog about your travel trip. So you're going on a travel trip and you have a camera, you went over there, documented all your trip, came back, took all the footage and dump on your computer and then dumped all that into your editing software. Now you want to create a vlog out of it. So the usual length for vlog is around 10 to 15 minutes. Uske aage to mostly public bore ho jati hai. So what you do is you start editing your vlog and you start to edit your intro first. And you see the length of the intro is already around 7 minutes or 6 minutes and you feel like, oh shit, ये तो ज़्यादा हो गया, ये तो already इतना बड़ा हो गया. So what you do is, instead of editing your entire vlog first, you start focusing on the intro itself and you start perfecting that, which is not an ideal way to do it, because when you start deleting shots from a particular scene before even completing your edit, sometimes what happens is at the time when you're almost there to complete the edit, you feel like, अरे यार वो intro में वो 2-3 shots थे ना, वो चाहिए थे. I think that would have worked. And by the time you have already deleted that stuff, and at that time you're like, shit यार, अभी पूरा raw footages में वापस you have to go and find the scenes and find again, replace over there, re-edit over there, which is a big hassle. So to avoid all these things, all these jhamela, what you do is you don't worry about the time, you don't worry about 10 to 15 minute slot. You just keep focusing on completing your vlog. Don't worry about time at all. Just put all the good stuff, all the good shots that are really important for the edit, for the story, and complete your edit. Maybe the entire edit, the entire vlog duration goes around 20 to 22 minutes. No one cares. But once you have all the good stuff, all the अच्छे shots in one place, entire storyline is completed. Now you take your time. Now you watch it again, over and over again, and think like, इसमें से ऐसा क्या है जो निकल भी गया. The story that I'm trying to tell wouldn't affect much. Or maybe ये यहाँ पे कुछ सेक्शन है that is really dragging the vlog, ये थोड़ा बहुत बोरिंग हो जाएगा, पब्लिक सो जाएगी ये देख के. So just remove that. So when you do all these things, once the entire edit is finished, you don't feel like, अरे यार वो होना चाहिए था, वो नहीं होना चाहिए था. You're already aware how the entire edit is looking because you have already completed the vlog. So that's my tip. That's my tip, that create your structure first and then move on into adding details and making your edit crisper. Practice, 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 practice. That's the only thing that you can do to improvise your skills further. And to practice your editing skills and take it to another level, what you can do is you can start consuming more and more content from a lot of different streams, not just on YouTube. Watch Vimeo, watch music videos, watch documentaries, something that not just fits into your style, fits into your genre, because you never know from where you will get an idea, from where you will get an inspiration. And talking of inspirations, also watch the content of the people who inspires you and try and analyze their work, their editing skills, and try and emulate that in your projects. Just make it exactly the way they do it, because that's the way how you learn things. Remember when you were a kid, ABCD जब लिखना नहीं आता था, what we used to do is we used to copy ABCD, how our parents used to teach us, how our teachers used to teach us. We used to copy their scribbles the way they used to do. So the people who inspires you, just watch their work and try and copy their work. Copy is a wrong word, but you don't have to post it anywhere. Just do it because you want to learn, because you want to take your editing skills to another level, and just keep practicing all the time until and unless your edits is getting as better as their edits. Because there will be a time where you feel like, oh, you have learned a lot, you're a very nice editor. The ego starts hijacking your brain and you feel like, oh, I'm really a good editor. And at that time you start dying, because in today's world education has become very easy and it has just become very fast, not just for you but for everyone. If you let that ego capture you, making you feel like you're the best, because today or tomorrow कोई ना कोई ऐसा बंदा होगा जो editing सीखेगा and he will be constantly upgrading himself. Not just one person, बहुत ऐसे लोग आएंगे who will just take over you. So just keep practicing and just keep upgrading all the time. Okay, so those are the mota-moti tips that I thought I could share it with you guys. I thought that would be helpful. And apart from that, if I want to add anything more, I would say also try and learn the theory of the editing, because all the things that you do, you know how to do it, but it's also important to know why to do it, because there are a lot of cuts, there are a lot of different types of cuts, there are different types of transitions that you need to know, because each and every cut has their own different reasons behind it. Let's say you add a jump cut in a video, it conveys a different kind of a story. If you add a match cut, it conveys a completely different kind of story. Don't just get into the trap of just making really cool videos. It's good for first impression, but after some point of time you just forget that, because that video didn't really had connection with you. But if you're someone who really wants to make your work stand out and stick into the minds of the people, also start learning theory, start understanding the reasons, the specifics of the edit. When you know all these things, you will play the game on another level. You will be the person whose opinion does really matters when you are having a conversation about edits. You know the editing from its in and out, and that's the goal. That's everyone's goal, not just in editing but anything that you are doing into. You just need to know everything. Then you can really connect to your audience, to your viewers, because you take decisions according to that. You don't just edit your videos for the sake of making it look cool, but you're doing it because of specific reasons. And the reason is to create connection, create emotion between your art and the viewer and the audience. Because if you know how to do that, you're just playing the game on another level. That's my game. I am still trying to be on that level. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this video has gone for a long time. I've been recording this for 2 to 3 hours now. पसीना आ रहा है, प्यास लगी है. I've been talking a lot, but anyways, I hope that this video was really helpful. I hope that you really got something out of it. I hope that this was really informative for you. I hope this video really helps you to start your editing journey. And if you really like this video, just share it with someone who you think would be benefited from this video. So with that being said, बहुत बड़बड़ हो गया, प्यास लगी है, गर्मी हो रही है. You just take care of yourself, be healthy, be creative, and I will see you in the next video. 3 hours.